Your eyes snap open. You glance at the clock. 3 seconds left before the alarm. No sound, no light, nothing warned you, and yet somehow you were already awake, heart already a little quickened, mind already half alert. It's happened after a normal Tuesday night, after a rough sleep, even after a nap before a meeting. That eerie timing feels almost impossible, like your body has a sixth sense for schedules. But there's no magic here. There's a hidden clock running inside your brain right now, quietly tracking your habits, your light exposure, your routine, and preparing your body to wake before any device ever rings. So the real question isn't how your body knew the time, it's why your body built its own alarm in the first place. And this isn't a one-time fluke. It keeps happening, across different nights, different stress levels, different bedrooms, which makes it feel less like coincidence and more like something inside you is paying attention. Something is tracking the hour, tracking your patterns, running calculations you never consciously asked for. Which means the alarm clock you trust every morning might not be the thing waking you up at all. It might just be arriving a few seconds late to a decision your body already made. So what exactly is timing you from the inside, and how does it seem to know your schedule better than you do? Deep in your brain, tucked just above where your optic nerves cross, sits a cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Scientists just call it the SCN. Think of it as a tiny, tireless timekeeper, roughly the size of a grain of rice, running 24 hours a day, whether you're awake, asleep, dreaming, or drooling on your pillow. It doesn't need to glance at a phone or hear a ticking clock. It has its own rhythm, and that rhythm is remarkably precise. Here's where it gets interesting. This clock isn't born knowing your schedule. It learns it, the same way you'd memorize a route you drive every day, until you stop consciously thinking about the turns. Every morning that light hits your eyes at roughly the same time. Every night that you settle into bed around the same hour, you're feeding the SCN data. It's tracking the pattern in the background, quietly building a model of when your day is supposed to start. Do this enough times, and the SCN doesn't just react to your schedule anymore. It starts predicting it. That prediction shows up in a very specific way. About an hour before your body expects you to wake up, the brain sends a chemical signal into your bloodstream. It's a small burst of cortisol, often called the cortisol awakening response. Picture a stage crew moving around behind a closed curtain before a show starts. The audience doesn't see it happening, but everything is being set into position. That's what this cortisol burst is doing inside you. It's not the jarring flood of cortisol you feel during a stressful moment. It's a smaller, quieter release, just enough to start nudging your body out of deep rest and toward the surface. While that's happening, something else shifts too. Your sleep architecture starts to change shape. In the hours before your expected wake time, you spend less time in deep, slow-wave sleep and more time cycling through lighter stages. Light sleep is fragile by design. It's easy to interrupt, easy to surface out of. This is exactly why a small trigger, like your own anticipation of an alarm, or a noise from outside, or even a passing thought, can be enough to snap you fully awake in that window. You're not being pulled out of some deep, stubborn state. You're already close to the surface, drifting there on purpose. Or, at the same time, melatonin, the hormone that helped keep you asleep through the night, begins to taper off. It's been quietly decreasing since the middle of your sleep cycle, but in this final stretch before waking, the decline accelerates. Alongside that, your core body temperature ticks up slightly. It's a small shift, a fraction of a degree, but your body uses temperature as one of its many internal cues. A slightly warmer body tends to correlate with wakefulness, a slightly cooler one with sleep. So as your temperature rises in that final hour, it's another quiet vote in favor of surfacing. None of this happened by accident. This entire system is ancient, older than clocks, older than electricity, older than scheduled wake-up times. For most of human history, there was no alarm to wait for. Bodies needed to predict daylight on their own, waking gradually before sunrise so they could be alert to whatever the day held before the world fully woke up around them. A body that could anticipate the coming light, rather than simply reacting to it, had an edge. That predictive habit didn't disappear just because we invented digital clocks. It's still running underneath modern life, doing exactly what it was built to do, just now aimed at a beeping phone instead of a rising sun. This is also where that unsettling, on-edge feeling comes from. The cortisol awakening response doesn't work alone. It sets off a cascade that includes adrenaline, the same chemical involved in classic fight-or-flight responses. So in the minutes before you consciously wake up, your body isn't just quietly stirring, it's gearing up. Heart rate ticks upward, muscles get a small readiness signal, your nervous system shifts from rest mode toward alert mode. That's why you can open your eyes already feeling like you were mid-thought, mid-alert, a little tense before you've even had a chance to process where you are. Your body isn't waking up passively. It's actively preparing for action, the way it might prepare for a predator at dawn, except the modern version of that dawn is a digital tone at 7 a.m. And here's the part that explains why this experience isn't the same every single time. The precision of that prediction depends entirely on how consistent your schedule has been. On a night following a steady routine, the same wake time day after day, the same light exposure pattern, the SCN's forecast is sharp. It knows almost exactly when to start the cortisol rise, when to lighten your sleep, when to nudge your temperature upward. That's when you get that eerie experience of waking seconds before the alarm. But on a night following an erratic schedule, going to bed at wildly different times, waking up at different hours, exposing your eyes to light at random points in the night, that prediction gets fuzzy. The SCN doesn't have a clean pattern to work from, so instead of a smooth anticipatory wake-up, you're far more likely to be yanked out of deep sleep directly by the alarm itself, waking up groggy, disoriented, and needing several minutes just to remember what day it is. Here's the good news buried in all that biology. You don't need to fight this system, outsmart it, or override it with willpower. The anticipatory wake process your body runs is not a glitch to suppress. It's actually the off switch for that groggy, dragged out of a cave feeling, but only when it's allowed to operate on a predictable schedule. The cortisol rise, the lightening of sleep, the gentle climb in temperature, all of it is designed to ease you out of rest rather than yank you out of it. The jarring version only shows up when the prediction has nothing solid to work from. So the goal isn't a hack, it's an input. And the input is almost embarrassingly simple. Wake up at the same time every day, not just on work days, but on weekends too, even when nothing is forcing you out of bed. Every time you sleep in on a Saturday or push your wake time around during the week, you're essentially feeding your internal clock conflicting information. It's like trying to memorize a route while someone keeps changing the streets. Give it a single repeated time, and the SCN can lock onto that number with real precision. The second piece works alongside the first. As soon as you wake up, get a few minutes of natural light. Step outside, sit near a window, let actual daylight hit your eyes, not the glow of a phone screen. Light is the loudest signal your internal clock listens to. It's the primary tool the SCN uses to confirm that day has in fact started, and to anchor tomorrow's prediction around today's timing. Routine tells your clock when to expect morning. Light confirms it arrived. Together, for about a week, these two inputs give your internal alarm the clearest possible signal to calibrate around. And here's something worth noticing the next time your eyes snap open, with your heart already a little quickened, before the alarm even sounds. That feeling isn't your body malfunctioning, it's not anxiety, and it's not some strange oversensitivity creeping in as you get older. It's an ancient survival mechanism, one built for a version of you that needed to be alert before sunrise, before predators, before any of the noise of modern life existed. That system is still standing guard, just aimed at a digital tone instead of a dawn horizon. When you notice that alertness, you can recognize it for what it actually is. Evidence that a very old, very reliable internal system is doing exactly what it was built to do. Over the course of a week of steady wake times and morning light, pay attention to how waking actually feels. Not whether you feel amazing or fully cured of tiredness. Nobody can promise that. Just notice the texture of the waking itself. Does it feel a little less like a jolt and a little more like a slow rise to the surface? Is the tension that used to come part of it, easing down instead of ramping straight up? These are small, subjective signals, but they're exactly the kind of feedback that tells you the prediction system inside you is getting sharper. So the next time you wake up seconds before the alarm, heart already ticking a little faster, mind already half alert, you don't have to wonder if your body developed some kind of sixth sense. It didn't need one. It's simply been listening to your habits, your light exposure, your rhythm, night after night, and it built its own internal alarm, long before the one on your nightstand ever had a chance to ring. The device on your phone was never really running the show. It was just backup, quietly waiting behind a system your body had already set in motion. And the more consistent you are with it, the more that system learns to trust you back.